Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my Bookish world. I'm Alex, and today I'm going to do part 1 of my August wrap-up. So I'm posting this, I believe, on the 25th of August, and obviously there's a week left until August is over. But I am currently in the middle of 2 books, and I am hoping to read 3 more books by the end of the month, and I've already read quite a bit, so I figured I would split this into 2 parts just so that way I can properly review each book. So yeah, let's get started. So the first book is Pride, which is actually like Pride, the Story of Harvey Milk and the Rainbow Flag, which is by Rob Sanders and illustrated by Stephen Sell Arno. It's a little tiny picture book about Harvey Milk and his life, and then the history of the rainbow flag, which we all know as the pride flag to this day. And so this book I wanted to pick up because I was just typing in Pride at my library. I saw this book pop up, and I have a weird thing for Harvey Milk. Not really. I had to learn about him, I believe, my senior year of high school, and I watched a movie on him, and I don't know, I just absolutely fell in love with him as a person. And so when I saw this book, I was like, obviously I have to read it. I gave it 5 stars. It was a quick little picture book. I think it's a very cute read, especially if you want to talk to somebody about pride and, you know, obviously homosexuality and the LGBTQ community. I think it's a great resource to do that. And then the next book that I read was Be Troll Betrothed by Keller. This book I gave 3 stars, although honestly I'm considering dropping it down to like a 2.5. It's just this book was easy to read. It was an easy book to read. Like, the writing itself was not hard to follow, and the story moved very quickly, but like the plot made no sense. It was all over the place, and I just did not enjoy my time reading it. I did, okay, I enjoyed it, but I got so confused and frustrated because it just was not what I remember Kierkegaard's writing being like. And I've definitely heard a lot of bad reviews, but I wanted to go into it myself with an open mind, just because I didn't know if those people would have the same thoughts that I did. But yeah, it was definitely disappointing, and I'm not sure if I'll be picking up the second book because I believe this is a duology. And the next book I read was Date Me, Bryson Keller by Kevin Van Wy, which, by the way, Betrothed follow this girl who is supposed to be marrying the king, and then she meets this guy and ends up falling up for him instead. Yeah. And then Date Me, Bryson Keller follows a boy named Kai who is closeted at his school. And basically, the most popular guy in the school, Bryson Keller, has this bet going around where he is only going to date somebody for a week, and the first person that asks him out on a Monday gets to date him from Monday until Friday. And so Bryson Keller Kai impulsively decides to ask Bryson Keller out, making him his boyfriend, and he is the first person that Kai has ever come out to. And throughout the week, Kai starts to fall for him, as well as Bryson starts to discover his own sexuality. I will say, trigger warning for homophobia, as well as coming out scenes and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed this. It definitely was not what I was expecting. It got a little darker than I was expecting, but I still really enjoyed it. I gave this 5 stars, and I don't know if it's on Voices. I believe it is, but I don't know for sure, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, I'll definitely be picking stuff up from this author in the future. And then the next book that I read is Body Talk, which is an anthology of essays written by different people talking about their bodies. This is edited by Kelly Jensen. I was contacted by the publisher to be part of the blog tour, so that was really fun, and I'm really glad that I got to read an early copy of this. So basically this book is just different essays. It's all nonfiction, but it's really interesting, and it has so much amazing rep. I mean, LGBTQ rep, chronic illness rep, disability rep, fat rep, and eating disorder rep, and obviously trigger warnings for all of that, but I think it's definitely going to be a staple in the YA community because it is considered YA, to have all these different types of rep in it. And it's just so informative, but it also focuses on just, obviously one person's journey with whatever, with their body. So obviously it's not all universal, but I think it was really interesting, and I gave this book a 5 stars. And then next I read Roomies by Christina Lauren. So this book follows a girl who has been noticing this subway guy that plays in the subway every, a few times a week. And one day she gets into some sort of accident, and he is the only witness, but he does not stay around to talk to police. And then something happens where she runs into him, and they decide to get married because he is in the country illegally. His visa his student visa had expired 4 years ago. So he is technically in the country here illegally, so they decide to get married and try to get him a green card so he can work. As they don't really know each other, and they gradually start to learn about each other and possibly fall for each other. This was not my favorite Christina Lauren book by any means. I definitely think that this one just didn't have the same, I don't know, it just wasn't what I was expecting. I wasn't a big fan of the love interest. The girl was great, but I felt like the story was a little cliche almost, even though romance novels are all cliche. It just, for whatever reason, did not vibe with me. I did give it 3 stars. I still enjoyed it. I still read it pretty quickly, but it just definitely was not my favorite book. And then the last book that I read was Love Creekwood by Becky Albertalli. This is a collection of emails between some of the best and some of the most well-known characters from the Simonverse series, including Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, Upside versus Unrequited, and Leon the Offbeat. And also a little, a nice little window into what we see Love Victor, which is a Hulu show. Very good. I really recommend it. I give this 4 stars. I really enjoyed being back in the Simonverse because I love some of those characters, most of those characters, and they really mean a lot to me, and I'm sure they mean a lot more to other people. But it was just really fun. It wasn't groundbreaking. I don't think this book was needed, but I just really enjoyed it. I mean, if you've read all of Becky Albertalli's books and you're kind of missing Simon and the crew, I would recommend it. But other than that, it's definitely not needed. So yeah, this is it for my August wrap-up, part 1. I'll have one coming, I believe, 2 weeks from today, because next week will be my TBR. But yeah, I hope to see you guys soon. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Follow my social media down below. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, as well as my book, Sloth. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye!